All right, everyone. Happy harvest. How's it going? This is a truly magical and beautiful time, and I am so grateful and blessed and excited to be with you all tonight and to have our circle all over the world. I love this. When two or more gather, our light expands exponentially. It's really a powerful thing to do to gather like this. So we honor you for joining us. I'm going to start with honoring Mother Earth and the turn of the wheel. So fall equinox brings us to the 7th of the 8 sacred seasons that I follow. And that's basically winter, spring, summer, fall. We all know that one. And 6 weeks into those seasons, halfway through the quarter, is what's referred to as the gates of power. But right before we go into winter, spring, summer, fall, the last month that we've just endured through Virgo, it's a processing time. It's always a time of making those connections and hopefully getting those ha-ha moments and integrating what you've learned, whether it's in the last month or the last quarter or the last year, so that it can serve you, right? So we look at this and we realize that when we're at the 7th of the 8th seasons, right now we're calling in that harvest and looking at the last 9 months of creativity or creation, whatever you have brought into being or been able to anchor and solidify. The fullness of your spring equinox intentions perhaps have run their course to here. This is always a good checkpoint for that. But we are doing all this to prepare for the 8th and final season is when we meet the ancestors. And we have this annual celebration with them that basically helps us put the final touches on the completion of 2019, but also helps give us the guidance and the information and the wisdom that we need to move into 2020. So I would like to just sort of ask you to embrace this last quarter of 2019 as truly preparatory. You know, it's preparation for a life-changing year or two that's coming in 2020 and 2021. And it's not to instill any kind of anxiety or fear, but hopefully excitement for the new. And like Shanta said, the unknown is definitely what we're heading toward, but in a really good way, in a really positive way that we can guide and direct on our own behalf if we follow the energies. And the energies support us in this assessment time, in this purification time of this season, to consider the questions you would ask when we get to the ancestors. You know, right now you're going to do your own assessments, but then the final questions will go to them, and you'll want some more information to really clarify what happened this year. And so this month we're shifting from an earth personal, individual focus into a more of an air and an idea of community and relationship focus. This is also the time of year, I was telling Shanta, we're shifting from very yang, active energy into yin, more receptive energy. We're moving into the dark time. That's the feminine time. Allow that to be okay, and know that we're moving also from processing and analyzing into a season of choosing and doing. That's what's going to happen in the next month. We're going to be presented with some opportunities to collaborate and work with others in a certain way, and we're going to have to make some choices. So you definitely want to do those assessments and look at the year and what's gotten done and what you still want to bring to fruition before you close it out. And now we're also moving from healing and integrating on an individual, yourself level, moving into healing and actually initiating with others. So there's this whole dynamic of self versus other, the individual within the context of the community or the collective or the relationship itself, or if it's an intimate partnership. You are always an individual within that. And this is the season where we are initiating a new and calling in that new level of relationship and new partnership. And essentially, we've done all we can do alone. So now we want to invite or create the team, the circle, the community, gathering with others just like we're doing tonight to learn, to heal, to grow on a soul level. It's really important that we take some time out to integrate everything we've learned throughout the year. And if you haven't already, you definitely want to think about creating your own council. So what's happened, I'm very close to my invisible council, the ancestors, angels, and animal spirit guides, but I'm really thinking about my council of women that I love to circle up with, and that's really evolving at this time. I'm calling in the qualities that I want to experience and that I want to share space with and learn with and heal with. So doing all your sorting and sifting, what's done, clarifying what's done, what's beginning, what's ending, and what's beginning, but also what's in process. Maybe something's right in the middle. It's also a time to check in with, is it still worthy of your investment? Is it still worth it to invest your time, energy, or resources in these particular relationships or partnerships? We're definitely going to review what's been going on in the last year so that we can prepare to claim something new going forward in the next year. And just really remembering that you want to be the space for your goal, whatever it is. Are you setting up the space in your life to have a relationship? I remember there was a time where my mouth said I wanted one, but all my actions were blocking that flow. And until I unblocked that, I couldn't attract my divine mate. So there's a time where you want to create space for the goal that you're seeking and allow your imagination and your artistic, creative nature to help you co-create, to come up with the creative solutions, to think outside the box, and to really allow yourself to grow and shift and change, and know that you're going to be the space for this at this time during this year, but that changes and evolves just like you do. You know, I love that she brought up the gyroscope of the heart and the Taurus field. That is so powerful and something that we want to constantly and consciously work with, because certainly this month alone is going to be a great time to check in with your own magnetics, your own essence, and your magnetism. What do you naturally attract and naturally repel? That's what's up for renewal, let's say, and initiation. And we're cultivating, experimenting, and detaching from outcome. Again, anytime we're calling in relationship or community and things like that, we definitely want to call in the essence and the vibe you want to be a part of or want to experience. Not so much on what it looks like, because things just aren't always what they seem. So we want to call in the vibration we want to experience and allow Spirit to provide the form that it's going to show up in. And set your intentions for what I like to call balanced and reciprocal conscious equal partnerships, collaboration with all life, but also reciprocal relationships, creative collaborations, and profitable partnerships, setting our intentions for those. And fairness and cooperation, kinship, better relating. And, you know, anyone up for manners coming back around? How about some manners? I'd love to see that be normal again. So, but this is what time it is. This is the time of year where we get to tune into true balance and access an aspect of harmony that we could expand and extend so that it lasts a little longer, but that takes some conscious effort. And also, if we've been in some extremes, then it's definitely time to restore balance within your body, your environment, the community, your sacred space. You know, start nesting and basically creating space so that you can turn inward. Like I said, we're going to the dark time of year in this hemisphere. I know you're turning toward the light in the southern hemisphere. But for us, we're going to be doing some inward, behind-the-scenes work and bringing 2019 big projects to a close, conclusion, finish them strong the way you'd like to, and assess the future possibilities. What has legs? What have you created this year that has little offshoots that could be nurtured into something useful and relevant that will help your relationships and your community and the interactions that you have with others or other life forms, let's say. You may be working with plants and animals more than humans, and that's still a relationship that you're cultivating consciously over time. And so balance is what's up right now. So keep in mind, if you're too far in the past or too far in the future, that's where the agitation kicks in. So catch yourself in the moment. You have a solid 6 weeks to tell yourself every day, I have access to balance, every day. And so anytime you're feeling a little out of balance, you can pull that right back into center. It doesn't have to be pain and suffering. You know, we don't have to struggle. It doesn't have to be hard. And I would suggest you search for a couple of things that are out of balance in your life. If you can find 1, 2, 3 things that are kind of out of balance, choose one to focus on for just this quarter, for 90 days, and see what happens. Try to restore some balance to that one aspect. I've talked about this on a couple of our other calls earlier in the year about changing your priority list. If you can't actually do it, then entertain the possibility by doing a little daydreaming with it, and that is taking priorities that have been totally pumped to the bottom, which very often for women it's us and our self-care and the things that we need to do to make ourselves stronger and better to go out in the world, but it happens to everyone, where we put these things off that really should be addressed and will make us better for it if we do. So it's a slow down time. We've had a summer of go, go, go. It's time to slow down, receive more than give, and give more to yourself than to others for a little bit. Like, this is a restorative time, and we want to use it as such because we're heading toward the extreme darkness. We're heading toward another extreme at winter solstice. So let's enjoy the balance and really call it in. And again, as you establish that, think of the last 6 months as being personal and in terms of evolution and what the energies have been rewiring within you. It's all been individual and internal. Now, a lot of what you're going to have to do is apply yourself in ways that demonstrate the wisdom you've earned this year, to demonstrate the healing that you've gotten under your belt, to the extent that you have. We know it's never done. As long as you're here, we have healing, we have soul work to do. But we know that we did make some progress in 2019. There has been this evolution. This was something else I was talking to Shanta about prior to our call tonight in terms of planetary support. So as above, so below. We've covered the earthly turn of the wheel and the cycles, the natural cycles that our bodies are wired to understand. So if you are feeling out of kilter, syncing up with the sun and the moon is the first place to start. Getting your monthly and annual rhythm together, and that will help get other things in place as well. And certainly reach out. Shanta and I both love to help people doing that. The guidance and the energetic support in the sky is actually totally supporting us as we navigate exactly what we have to do in terms of the last year or so of doing a ton of release work on a soul level and very deep levels. I know a lot of relationships that had run their course, permanent endings have happened, and so there's these voids and these brand new beginnings that are available. And so I just really want you to be aware that the closure work and the initiation work that we can do in this last quarter of the year is going to be so supportive down the road in 2020, because we've basically cleared out any dis-ease or misuse, abuse of our own power, like not channeling our power correctly in regular relationships as well as intimate partnerships. All levels of relating have been up for a cleanse, and we're essentially beginning brand spanking new. And so you can choose how you want to relate with others going forward. And you can not just hold the vision, but practice in the moment. When there's uncomfortable situations with other humans, sometimes if you just give yourself a minute to feel it rather than thinking it through, we're running it through the heart filter instead of the head filter. And when you do that, you come up with what's actually happening. Not what it appears to be or what you think is happening, but what you feel. And then it's sometimes easier to put language to it to help direct the others. What you just said made me uncomfortable. Can we discuss it? Or what you just did hurt my feelings, or things like that. We want to also renegotiate with our long-term relationships. We go along for so long doing it a certain way that we don't think to question it, but really we should be questioning it on a fairly regular basis and renegotiating as we go, because everyone grows and evolves at their own pace. And so you want to check in, and again, whether it's personal or professional, the balance between self and other is what's up for this time. And in the last year, we've had a pretty deep cleansing, and what it led to was connecting to the heart, getting more authentic, getting to realize what's really important to us, and not just important, but sacred and vital to our well-being on the planet. All of that has led to here, where we're in the fall harvest, assessing what we've been able to accomplish and build and create and co-create and experience in this year, and how it can serve us going forward. We know where's the blessing and the lesson in the whole deal. And by the end of this year, the energies are going to shift dramatically. So I want to segue into a couple of specifics, because I want you to have a chance to set your intentions. So we've had a whole year of working through our faith and belief systems in very real ways. What do you believe to be true or possible for yourself? And we've also had this activity with Neptune that causes a certain bit of fogginess and ambiguity and lack of clarity. You know, things are very confusing, not sure what they are, like very unsure in that way. And at the same time, Neptune connects us to Source and to God and to great mystery. And it's been in a position that has been pushing us to grow out of our comfort zone and into new territory. It's almost like really building our faith muscle. When do you need faith? But in that time of challenge, right? We don't need it when everything is going along swimmingly. Faith gets exercised when we get challenged. And this year has been a challenge to come up with the most positive, effective vision amidst the foggy confusion that is also going on. Well, as of September 21st, our last hit with that is done. So I think the whole year has been dedicated to reorganizing that for us and helping us do that. But you have to keep in mind, as we have learned so much about our connection to Source, our connection to God, that it used to be you had to go to the mountain to ascend. You had to go separate yourself from worldly, secular, everyday folks and go up into nature or go up into the Himalayas and really commune to experience that divinity in our body. Well, the planets also support that awakening right now. And basically for the next several years, our bodies are catching up with our consciousness. And so give yourself a break. Remember that you are a human, and the human body has not evolved as quickly and as fast as our technology and our computers and telephones. Our bodies pretty much still operate the same. And so we've got to give ourselves a chance to adapt and adjust to these higher frequencies, to this increased light that we have access to, because we do. And light basically heals everything in our bodies. There's all kinds of physics backing it up as well. Little light communicators that shoot back and forth throughout our bodies. What we want to do is be a clear channel for that communication. And so all year has been this challenge to grow in what you believe to be true or possible and what story you want to tell with your life and your choices. But come 2020, we're going to have to make some commitments, and we're going to have to make some dedications and deepen our dedication, I should say, because the energies are going to shift dramatically and more earth signs are going to be activated. And we've already had a little wave of earth signs this year, and you know when they hit, it's time to get real. It's time to build something, bring things into form, get out of your head, into your body, and really check in there over and over and over. And so we're completing the mission in this fire inspirational realm of Sagittarius, where we've expanded our knowledge base and we've grown some kind of wisdom in the last year that was bigger than usual, let's just say. And it's going to segue in December into Capricorn, which means another overriding theme of this entire year, and then certainly wrapping up in this last quarter, is our truth and purpose. And this is something else I wanted to put on the radar. Your individual truth and purpose, I want you to meditate on what that vision is that you see happening for social truth and social purpose. What's the purpose of social interactions these days? We need to have a purpose and a higher, deeper truth with that. And what is the truth of the collective? And what's the purpose of the collective? And how has all of that evolved? And seriously, this year. So our truth and purpose planets, which are Jupiter and Saturn, are literally get together every 20 years. Last time they did it was 2000 in Taurus, which I believe put on the radar that we had to up our game with the Earth, and we've had 20 years to do it. And here we are facing something completely new when they're going to link up in Aquarius, which also signals for those advancements that humanity is capable of. And I think we need to really be thinking forward thinking. We know what's done is done, and we want to choose new, really. There's nothing of the old that's really going to serve us at this point unless you go all the way back to the ancient. But if we're talking the last 250 years, that's done. And it's really a new upgrade for us in a very big way. And there's also this alignment in the sky that we've talked about over the years that's called a mystical rectangle. But up in the sky, it looks like a big X, so we think of it as a giant kiss from the universe because it brings these harmonious angles and opportunity angles together all at once in a combo, in a four-way combo, and it's really powerful. And it actually falls in the winter, spring, summer, fall signs, which are Aries, Libra, and Cancer, Capricorn. So again, with that self versus other, and then home versus work, the fundamentals, the things we all have to deal with, whether you have those signs activated or not, we all have to deal with this. And right now, let's just say the energetic support is toward self-care, honoring, kinship, and the fact that we're all family. We are all related no matter where you come from, no matter what your cultural background is. We are all family, and that's what we need to be thinking futuristically about. How can we relate in new, more healthy, dynamic, vital, uplifting, beautiful ways? Okay, this is also the season of choosing the beauty way and adding beauty to everything we want to do, absolutely everything. And so that's where the support is. The cleansing, the clearing, the endings are in the old patriarchal ways and the dominance and control, and that doesn't work. We've proven it. We've absolutely proven that it does not work. And so choosing feminine, choosing the council of grandmothers, which is a lot of the Capricorn energy that you're reading about, we really could shift the way we look at it and recognize that we're tuning into the wisdom that's available to us at this time. And we can call in the feminine wisdom that serves Mother Earth and that serves all life, that isn't death-oriented or, it's not death-driven. It's life-driven, and that's what we're going for. And so that mystical kiss is rearranging the fundamentals, but it's also bringing in Chiron and Aries, an aspect of healing that we can all tap into. We can tap into this really delicious, once in 50 years, we're just going to have several years of this as well. So the healing things that are happening on multiple levels, but they're helping you be more independent and courage of your convictions and overcoming fear of new beginnings. All of that is being healed, being able to heal yourself without needing so much like a middleman or a translator. We're all learning how to do our own process ourselves, maybe with the help and the support of a guide, but you don't need them to do it. You should be able to do that yourself, and that's what's evolving right now. And so claiming those intentions that are related to that, that would be most useful for you, is what we're going for at this time. And two more things. One, Mercury hits Scorpio October 3rd and doesn't come out of there until December 9th. So it's going to retrograde all through Scorpio. This, too, is another blessing where we are being rewired mentally about how we use and direct our power. You also want to think about the deeper issues that we sometimes don't take time to really examine, is death, power, sex, and money are all part of that as well. So allow this retrograde to allow you to sink into your soul, to go to the soul level, to ask for the guidance and the wisdom and the direction that you need for that, because that's what this is really, really good for. And trust that the review is going to help you so that when you come out, you are stronger for making those choices that, like I said, are coming down the road in about 6 months. And like I told Shanta, because we'll probably get together for this, 12/12 is really powerful, and solstice is going to be really juicy, and about 4 days after solstice, we have another new moon solar eclipse in Capricorn. So the new moon solar eclipse is just really close to winter solstice and a bunch of other planetary alignments that basically kick off a whole new vibe. So use the remainder of this year to gather your thoughts, gather your energy, gather all the little nuggets of gold that you gathered throughout the year to compose the story you want to tell going forward, choosing the characters you want to be in your story and the people that you want to learn and heal and grow with and play with and work with and live with, be near, and have life experiences with. We're calling all that in new. And so you have to define it new. Family dynamics are changing, what we call ourselves with marriage and commitment ceremonies, and there's all kinds of ways to relate. And now we've increased that. We've created even better, newer ways to do that. And that's what this season completely supports. So There is plenty more that I'd love to share, but I think I will put that in the post-call goodies. So I will say there's a couple of really great bullets lists that will help you out to remember a little bit of everything I've said tonight and guide you in your intention setting as you go forward. We are so blessed and we are so grateful that we have each other and that the circle expands every time we get together like this and join my circle and Shanta's circle together. It is just a beautiful thing. So you want to come on back, darling? Is there anything else that perhaps I overlooked in my zeal? Oh, wait, one more thing I think I was going to say is the sacred feminine. I love you. The sacred feminine is in on all of us, y'all. There is something on every big angle that has the mothering principle. We got to be more nurturing and more caring. The wife principle, we got to be more committed, more dedicated. Palace is our wisdom. We have to strategize a little bit, think things through, ask for space and time to cultivate a response rather than react immediately. Give yourself a minute with that, you know. And Vesta, what is sacred in the body? That was the last piece we talked about before I forgot to mention. With Uranus and Taurus awakening our bodies, Vesta is there for an extended period, like 10 months. So all the way between summer solstice that we just came through 3 months ago, all the way to spring equinox of 2020, Vesta is there in Taurus helping us make our bodies, make the earth sacred, make beauty sacred, make the garden sacred. Like everything you're doing is sacred now because it's critical. We're in that time, and it's time. But that's it. Okay, goodbye.
Thank you.